All right, let's dive in. Sounds like a lot of you out there are ready to get into reading more, but maybe kind of stuck on where to even begin.
Yeah, it could be a little daunting.
Yeah, definitely. So we're checking out this Medium article. It's called Unofficial Guide on How to Start Reading Today, question mark.
Catchy.
Yeah, totally. So we're hoping this will help you go from like wanting to read to actually, making it a habit.
Like something you just do.
Exactly. And the cool thing is this article, it kind of treats reading like any other habit you're trying to build.
Right. It starts with something so basic, but a lot of people kind of miss it. Reading daily.
I mean, yeah, it seems pretty obvious, but why is that so important, do you think?
Well, think about when you first learned to drive.
Okay.
At first, it was like, so much concentration, every little thing, right?
Yeah.
But then with practice, you barely even think about it.
Right. It becomes second nature.
Exactly. Reading's kind of similar. Those daily, even if they're small repetitions, they actually create new pathways in your brain. Makes it way easier to just slip into that reading mode.
So, like, even just starting small, just a few minutes each day can actually make a difference.
Absolutely. Every little bit adds up.
Cool.
It's like climbing a mountain. Every page you read, that's another step towards the summit.
Love that analogy.
And the article really emphasizes this. It talks about protecting that daily reading streak.
Oh, I like that. Like, don't break the chain.
Yeah, exactly. Consistency is key. Like, it's way better to start small and gradually increase your reading time rather than going all out and then burning yourself out after like 2 days.
Right, right. Slow and steady wins the race, tortoise in the hare, all that.
Exactly. Which actually brings us to something the article calls friction.
Fiction.
Yeah.
Okay, what's that like in terms of reading?
We'll think of it as anything that makes reading less accessible. So that could be like a cluttered reading space, bad lighting, having to dig around for your bookmark. All that stuff creates friction.
Oh, I get it.
So minimizing those barriers, that's crucial if you want to make reading a habit.
So it's like if your book's buried at the bottom of your bag, you're less likely to actually like pull it out and read it, right?
Exactly. The article suggests things like having books readily available, like by your bed,
Yeah.
on your phone, anywhere you might have a few spare minutes.
Turning those little pockets of downtime into reading opportunities.
Hmm.
Instead of scrolling through social media while you're waiting for your coffee, you could whack a page or two.
I love that. Whack a page,
Got to make it fun, right?
for sure. And of course, one of the biggest challenges people face is finding the time to read.
Yeah, everyone's busy, right?
Exactly. But the article, it suggests taking a look at how we spend our time.
Like analyze it.
Yeah. Are there areas where we could maybe cut back a little, like maybe all that mindless scrolling on social media?
Free up some time for reading.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We often have more time than we realize. It's just about prioritizing and being intentional.
Okay, and speaking of being intentional, this article talks about choosing the right material. It makes a great comparison. It says you're way more likely to play a sport you actually enjoy than drag yourself to the gym.
Haha, so true. Reading shouldn't be a chore. It should be fun.
Right.
So it comes down to figuring out what you're actually interested in. Like, do you love those history documentaries on YouTube?
Yeah,
Or maybe there's certain genres in movies and TV shows you just gravitate towards?
totally.
Those are awesome starting points for finding books that you'll actually connect with.
I love that. And there's so many formats to explore too, like beyond just traditional novels.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The article even suggests graphic novels as a gateway to reading.
Oh, yeah.
There are some seriously powerful and engaging stories told through that visual medium.
Oh, for sure. And I think for anyone who's kind of intimidated by the whole idea of like starting a reading habit, it can be really encouraging to know that you don't have to dive into like War and Peace right away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can totally start small. Even just short stories
Yeah.
or, articles can be a great way to kind of build up that reading muscle.
Little reading muscle. I like that.
And the author of this article actually talks about that. They started with comics, then moved on to like short stories,
Yeah.
and then eventually felt ready to tackle those longer novels.
See, it's a journey.
It is.
And you find your own pace
Totally.
and enjoy the process. That's the important part.
For sure.
And the article even says that once you do kind of get that solid reading habit going,
Yeah.
that's when the real adventure begins.
Right. Like that's when you can start branching out, exploring all these new genres and topics. Think about like art, history, philosophy.
Oh, wow.
There's a whole world of knowledge and perspectives out there just waiting to be like discovered.
I love that idea of reading as an adventure.
Yeah, it's cool. Right.
And it doesn't have to be limited to just one book at a time either, right? You could be reading like a historical fiction novel and then a biography and then a self-help book all at the same time.
Oh, totally, totally. Whatever you're feeling in the mood for.
Right.
What's really important is that reading should be enjoyable. It shouldn't feel like an obligation.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is where the article gives some really great advice.
Yeah.
They say, don't force yourself to finish a book you're not enjoying.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's huge.
Right. It's like forcing yourself to eat broccoli when all you want is pizza.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
Sometimes it's okay to just say, this isn't for me, and move on to something that actually sparks your interest.
I love that because I think we all feel that pressure sometimes, like, oh, I started this book, I got to finish it.
Yeah, yeah, but you don't have to.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
about recognizing that your time is valuable.
Mm,
You deserve to spend it on things you genuinely enjoy.
I love that. And the article actually quotes James Joyce on this point, too.
Oh, yeah. They say, life is too short to read a bad book.
Right. Words to live by, people.
Seriously. And I think that's a really important point to remember. Prioritizing reading enjoyment over feeling like you have to finish every book you start.
Yes, 100%.
Because that feeling of having to slog through a book you're not into,
Yeah.
that can be a huge turnoff from reading anything at all.
Oh, for sure. Makes you want to just give up.
Right. Instead, think of reading as like an open door to all these possibilities and adventures.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, you can explore whatever you want, whenever you want.
So, okay, to kind of recap everything we've talked about,
Yeah.
we've got making reading a daily habit, even if it's just a few minutes.
Right.
Minimizing that friction.
Uh-huh.
Finding the time, choosing the right stuff to read.
Yeah,
And even giving ourselves permission to, ditch a book if it's not bringing us joy.
exactly.
That's a lot of great advice.
It is. It is all packed into one little article.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah. And, if we connect all of this to the, bigger picture,
Mm.
it's not just about reading words on a page, right?
Right.
It's about cultivating this love of learning, exploring new ideas, seeing different perspectives.
Feeding that curiosity.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
opening yourself up to whole new worlds and possibilities.
Love it. So as we wrap up this deep dive into this article,
Yeah.
what is the one thing that really stands out to you?
For me, it's that reminder that starting a reading habit, it's not like this impossible thing. It's something anyone can do.
Yeah.
It's not about suddenly becoming, a literary scholar or something.
Yeah.
It's just about those small but consistent steps and finding what you enjoy about reading.
Yeah. Yeah. Finding that joy in the process,
Yeah.
rediscovering that sense of wonder and curiosity that, we all had as kids.
Exactly. And that's actually something I want to leave you with today.
Yeah.
Think about just one book that you think you could really enjoy right now.
Uh-huh.
What's one thing you could do to make it easy to start reading it, today? Maybe keep it on your nightstand or download it to your phone.
Yeah. Just little things like that can make a big difference
Right.
in minimizing all that friction we were talking about.
Exactly. Setting yourself up for success.
Love it. Well, there you have it, everyone. A super practical guide on how to get started with reading, all thanks to that awesome Medium article. Hopefully this deep dive has inspired you to pick up a book and start your own reading adventure.
Remember, even small steps, as long as you keep taking them, can lead to some pretty incredible journeys.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Happy reading, everyone.